Okay, now we have the vocabulary put into place. We're going to organize the screenshots that we took so we can make sure we remember how to create an email and to format it. And then we're going to talk a little bit about tips and strategies for drafting an email. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to type in Outlook. Outlook home screen. Okay. And I want to make that a heading 2. So I highlight that. I go up to that A with the pencil and pick heading 2. And then we're going to use that insert function that we used when we were talking about Word in the previous page. So I go to insert. I'm going to use a picture. So I tap the picture icon. And then I'm going to look for my markup that has everything from the home page. Okay? Under that, I'm just going to tap underneath that. I'm going to type Outlook Compose. Okay? Again, I'm going to hit Enter. Make that a heading 2. Tap in that. And you'll see that probably is going to automatically create a new page for you because it starts to run out of room. I'm going to insert, go to my photos, and I want to find my markup here that I created. I'm going to resize that a little bit because I want to be able to fit more than one on this page. Then I hit underneath that picture so the tab is there or the cursor is there. And now we're going to do Outlook formatting. Okay, again, making that a heading. Heading 2. Then I'm going to insert. Oh, I don't want to do that. I lied. I'm in the book room recording this for you guys. I'm going to hit the picture. And now I want to look for the formatting that I just created. I'm going to resize again. Oh, looks like I need to resize all of these. There we go. So I resize because I don't want to use up extra space if I don't need to. I don't want it to be, 75 pages long. So, and then I'm going to tap underneath it. Okay. All right. We're going to move on to, after we have those all in place, we're going to move on to composing emails or drafting emails. Tips and suggestions. Okay. I see that is at the very bottom of the page, so I want to tap in front of it. And I'm just going to hit enter so it goes to the next page. If yours wasn't at the very bottom of the page, you don't have to worry about that. We're going to format the whole document after we get through this section. Okay, so I want to make this its heading 2. So I select that text, heading 2. Okay, and here we go. I'm going to talk a little bit about the different strategies. And you want to listen to what I say and not just pay attention to what's on the screen. Really important that you are doing both, looking at the screen and listening. Okay, so I'm going to add bullets to this. Pick a bulleting style. I'm going to do a circle because I just feel like a circle today. The first thing that I would want to suggest is about how we compose the actual body of the essay, or not the essay, the message. Okay, so the body of the message, and I'm going to hit a colon, return, and then I want to hit the tab button. That's going to indicate that this is underneath the body of the message. Something to think about when I'm writing to somebody is who I'm writing to. The first thing I need to think about is who is my audience, because that's going to determine everything else. Okay? If I don't know the person very well, I might need an introduction or an explanation as to who I am and why I'm contacting them. So if I don't know them well enough, I'm probably going to need an introduction. Secondly, some people will argue about this, and again, it depends on who you're writing to, is whether or not you should offer a greeting. I try to do that when I'm contacting people just because I feel like it's more pleasant to open a conversation with a greeting, but some people don't care either way. So it really depends on whether you know the person very well if you decide not to. So, should I open with a greeting? Like, hello, how are you today? Okay. Next, emails are meant to be pretty short and concise. So that means I don't want to be super wordy. Unless it's somebody that is in my family that I'm like using an email to catch up with, these are probably going to be very short messages, probably about a paragraph. So you want to get right to the point as to why you're writing. Okay. And again, choose your words carefully because you want to make sure you're not offending people. Sometimes, if I'm getting to the point quickly, let's say I needed to ask Mrs. Seville for help with something, and I just said, print these for next class period. She might get a little annoyed because I didn't even offer her a greeting, or I just assumed that she could and I didn't ask. Or she might send something similar like that to me, and I might not care at all because I just needed to be able to know what I needed to get done for the next class period. It really depends on how you understand the person that you are sending to. So always, doesn't matter if I'm speaking or writing, always choose my words carefully. Okay. And I'm going to hit return twice so I get that tab or that bullet all the way out to the side again. The next thing I want to talk about is the subject. And remember, the subject is a separate box. It's its own field. Subject of the message should be 1 to 4 words. Okay, I don't want it to be very lengthy because I'm going to have in my inbox, I'll have a whole bunch of them, and I don't want it to be a full sentence that I can actually read anyway. Okay, it should be describe what the message is about. And the last thing to consider is if I'm sending this to someone who's probably getting a lot of similar messages about something similar in topic, I might want to include my name as part of that title so they can find it quickly. Remember, we can also search a lot of things now, and having that keyword to search is helpful. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the signature or the closing. Okay. This is all, this is the first draft of a message I'm sending to them, or I'm the one starting this messaging back and forth. You want to offer a conclusion or a signature, and this could be something as simple as your name at the end. It could be something as simple as thanks or sincerely. Those are all examples of signatures or closings to an email. Now, when you start using email more often, you're going to realize that there's a lot of back and forth sometimes. You don't need to sign or close everyone and say thanks, Beth, for every message you send. A lot of times it just becomes more conversational, like text messaging. So this is mostly for the first email in a chain of emails that I want to close it with some sort of signature. Okay. Also, a signature can be created in the settings. So you can have the same signature automatically populate or fill in for every email that you send. For my professional life, I have my name, all of the contact information, like my phone number, the address here, my email address in case they need to have it physically printed out for them. So I just have that automatically send no matter what email I send out, that's what is automatically included at the very bottom. For my personal email, I don't have any because I don't often use that at home. And if I do, I'm going to sign it myself. Sincerely, Beth A. Rice. Okay, so those are things to consider about your signature and your closing. Okay, and I'm going to talk about one more tip. I want to make sure that I just read this tip probably within the past 6 months, is I'm going to wait and put the email addresses in at the end into the CC and the BCC fields, because that way I can't hit send accidentally if I'm not ready to hit send. Okay, so one strategy or tip. So that's the tip. Make sure you save the email addresses till after you've composed the message. That way you don't accidentally send it before you're finished with it. And always double check your email addresses to make sure you have everything spelled correctly. You didn't hit a space or a comma or have all caps on. That's a good rule of thumb to have. Okay, so these tips and suggestions we are going to apply in a message that we're going to compose to send to someone. So you want to make sure you understand these in your own words, not just what's on the screen.